Good morning. This is October 9th, the day we're expecting Hurricane Milton to make landfall later this evening. We're headed out early in the morning. It's about 6 a.m. A friend of ours who has a storage unit down on the beach, Fort Myers Beach, which is in an evacuation zone, has an item he wants to get up off the floor in case it floods. It's kind of important to him. We're the only people he knows in the area. Hey, Ho, what you got? He called us last night, asked us if we'd go down there and help him out. So I want to try and get down there. I want to try and get down there before the weather deteriorates. Sheriff's department sets up and won't let nobody in and out. So I got up early this morning, made me some coffee. Gotten Big Blue here, my big F-250. And I'm headed down there to help a friend. A friend in need is a friend indeed. I'm sure we'll be all right. I'm gonna keep shooting videos throughout the day, letting everybody know the progress we're making, how we're holding up under these hurricane conditions. And we're gonna document everything. We got the fat girl back here.
Hey.
She don't really like that name. I think it might offend her. We got the sweetie pie. Oh yeah, the sweetie pie. We got the sweetie pie in the truck. See how she wag her little tail when I say sweetie pie? And when I say fat girl, she just looks at me like she has her feelings hurt. Yeah. My beautiful wife behind the camera.
Hey.
She can sometimes be as much to deal with as the hurricane. Or maybe a little bit more. But I love her. And I wouldn't trade her for 3 more just like her. That's a fact. So you can see we're in good spirits this morning. The roads are wet. But there ain't no wind blowing at the moment. Gas is scarce. I got a full tank in Big Blue though. So we're gonna see what happens until the next update. Headed back from the beach. On this day, we're expecting this hurricane to make landfall. Here's a little bit of what the weather looks like right now. Our main objective at this point is to find some place we can top off on gas. I got 3/4 of a tank now. Not in desperate situation, but want to go ahead and try and get it topped off before the storm gets here and everything gets worse and deteriorates. I'm thankful I didn't have to deal with wind and rain running down to the beach on an errand real quick. But we got to get back, pack up, some clothes and some perishable foods. We're going inland to my dad's. We're all gonna hunker down there, ride the storm out. You think they had gas? So, I was trying to show you the water, but I had the camera the wrong way. You got anything to say, babe?
Keep safe, everybody.
And Sasha back there.
Hey, hey.
She rides with us about everywhere we go. She's my dog. I rescued her from the pound a few years ago, but she will eat 3 people about her mama. That dog loves her mama. That's it for now. I'll be back later. You can see here, I'm gonna change the camera. You can see here the wind starting to blow. The trees, clouds are moving pretty quickly. It's coming in. Still ain't too bad yet, but the breeze is steadily getting worse. Getting stronger, rather. As I talk to you, I feel it blowing all across my face like a fan on high. We got the windows down in the truck, so we're not using any air conditioning, trying to conserve gas. We got all our phones charged up, a few extra batteries charged up. Chainsaws accessible. Several gallons of water, about 20 gallons of water. A non-perishable food, along with some perishable food we're gonna have to cook or make plans for or something if the worst occurs. Just kind of waiting for it to roll in. I'm sitting still at all these red lights and there's no traffic on the road. I'm gonna go ahead and go. I normally don't make a habit of running red lights, but just sitting still with a storm coming in with no traffic on the road but me, just being held up for nothing. That don't really make a lot of sense. So Lord, forgive me for running a red light, and hopefully the police will too. I'm looking for gas. I got a gas sign on here at this Wawa. Let's see if they got gas. Looks like they might be open too. We're gonna check and see here. Oh, they got the gas all roped off. That ain't good. Check back with you. So the search for gas continues. We've been to about 2, 3, 4, 5 stores, and either the stores are closed or the stores are open but they don't have gas. So I just heard from a buddy of mine about a truck stop that had fuel. Ain't too far from the house. I'm gonna go there and check it out. But here, I'm going across a bridge now. Water's a little choppy, but we're still all right for the moment. We just pray the Lord's hand of protection be upon us, upon our friends, our family, our neighbors, our community. People we know, people we don't know. Lord, be with us all. These things bring such stress and anxiety. One thing about it, when a hurricane comes through, your whole life changes. Very rarely does your life remain the same. You lose something, your friends, your neighbors, your family lose something. Your community gets destroyed. But one thing I will say, once a hurricane passes, the community will come together. All the differences of opinion, politics, religion, sexual preference, identity, all that goes out the window. And we are just human beings trying to help each other. And that's a good thing. It's just unfortunate it has to come on the aftermath of destruction. We just crossed the bridge. We're now in North Fort Myers. The sun's coming up. Streets are kind of desolate. A few people out looking for gas. Just ran into a buddy of mine at the gas station. He was putting diesel in his vehicle. But old Blue here, she takes gasoline. So I had to keep moving. I'll check back in with y'all. So it looks like I may have found some gas. I'll turn it around. There's a long line though. Hold on. I'm in people's way getting out. We got a little bit of a traffic jam because everybody is trying to fill up over here. Not exactly sure how I can do this. I'm gonna have to drive over some parking curbs here. If I had my car, I couldn't do this. But I got my truck, so. Oh. We got, let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4 ahead of me. We'll see how this works out. Stay tuned. All right, friends, family, fans. I got the RV packed up. I pulled in the slides last night, so I got that up there like that. I part put up. I got my cameras there so I can see out what's as I'm away. I'm gonna come outside here, turn this off. Right. I got all my backyard stuff here packed up in my cargo trailer. Right, I brought my chainsaw and some tools. You can see here at the lake. Weather's coming in. It's starting to wind, it's starting to rain. It's coming in. So All right, we are underway. We are evacuating. We just left the house. We packed up all the stuff that we might need to survive the next few days, come what may. It is rapidly getting darker. The wind is blowing. You might hear it. I'm in the video. I don't know. The rain ain't started yet, but it's starting. It's starting. I'll show you a little bit of the road. It is getting dark. You see them clouds? They're coming in. We hear the thunder now. What time is it? 11:30? Yeah, it's only going to get worse from here, folks. Only going to get worse from here. We don't want to wait no longer. You won't be able to travel the roads. We need to go now. We got power when we left. I pray to God we'll have power when we get back. But whether we do or whether we don't, we'll make do. The wife and I had a word of prayer. Protect our house and our home. Even the dog joined in. I'll update you as I get a little closer to my dad's. You can hear this wind. And now across my phone is coming a tornado alert. You can see we're starting to get a little rain coming in. It's getting darker and darker. The wind's howling. It's pretty good. Coming up on another red light. I like when they turn green as soon as I get to them. It won't be long, nobody will be on the road. Wind's blowing real hard, it's blowing the truck. I mean, I got a big heavy truck, but right now it's giving it all the hell it can handle. Talk to the people, baby.
Keep safe, everyone. We got this. Okay? See you in the next 2 days.
I love her. Me and her went through Ian together. We huddled up in Arcadia at my cousin's house. Hey, if you're watching, Judy. Hey, hey, hey.
Hey, Judy.
We hope you're safe and sound this time around. They're talking about it's going to be a little later tonight, so hopefully we can keep power and recharge our phones. Keep a little cool air blowing on us as long as possible. But you know, even in this type of situation, we're going to be surrounded by family. And we're going to all survive together. Man, that's worth $1 million right there. I hope y'all stay safe. I hope y'all can be surrounded by family as well. right, I'm gonna sign off for now, but I shall be back. Oh, I don't want to drop my phone. All right, folks, we are here in Charlotte County now. The weather ain't quite as bad here. I'm a little further inland. The weather hasn't made it here yet, although there is a good hard breeze blowing. But I'm gonna show you. This road that I'm on is called Cook and Brown. And Cook and Brown's gonna come up to Cass Drive. Cass Drive is my family's road. My family owns a bunch of land up and down the road, and different members of my family stay out there. And we see the ditches are already pretty full. All right, so, whoa, that was lightning. If you take a look right here, I'll show you. I'm trying to make it bigger, but you can't really see. But I'll show you right here. Let me get out real quick. Even during the hurricane, I got time for jokes. Here, let me get an old screenshot of that. That's nice. Okay, there we go. That's Big Blue. That's Big Blue right there. Baby, you gonna drive it?
Yeah.
All right, the wife asked to drive the F-250 down Cass Drive. So here we go. We look here at the ditch. It's all filling up. This here is them Australian pines that always fall over in the road. All right, so here we go. The wife wants to drive.
Okay, Baba, I'm going to Philippines. It's gonna be a long drive.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Driving to the Philippines. I don't think we'd get too far past LA.
So.
It's these pine trees here, when they fall over, woo, boy, we got to chainsaw our way up out of here. Slow, baby. All right, I'm back with you again. I know y'all fine folks was missing me. I ain't went far, I just shifted the camera around. This is an old dirt road. I grew up on it. My family has lived out here my whole life. It started as just a big cow pasture. Oh, baby. My grandpa dug a lake, and then later on they built a house out there. My uncle, he bought some land from my grandpa. My aunt bought some land from my grandpa. My dad bought some land from my grandpa. Some church friends bought some land over across the street. My cousins bought some land back at the beginning of the street. Yeah, that's that guy. Hey, hey, Uncle Luke! You alright? You alright? Oh, I'm videoing for my video. This is my Uncle Luke. Oh, I like what you got going on there. How you doing?
Thanks.
Happy to see you.
Yeah.
You gonna ride it out over here?
I got a bunch of people.
Oh yeah?
Guys coming from Punta Gorda, they're all managers out here.
Going into my dad's.
Yeah. I know, I gotta run back over to one of the rentals in the shores and board up 2 more windows. Hey, hey!
Is that Rufus? No, that ain't Rufus.
No. What's your dog's name?
Oh, that's Sasha.
Sasha, yeah.
All right, I'm going.
All right, man.
Hey, hey, Matt. Not today. They asked me if I'd deliver in the mail today. Not today. Oh, I forgot you was driving. All right. Oh. All right. We're fixing to go into the grand gates of the Cass estate. So here we go. I hope he's got the gate open, because I don't remember the code. All right, I gotta cut this off. I gotta call my dad and ask him for the code. I forgot it. And y'all can't know the code. I'll be back. All right, I'm back. I got the code and it's opening now. What? I gotta park somewhere where a tree don't fall on my truck. I think maybe right here. Let me see. I'm gonna get out, walk around, see if there's any trees that could fall on it. It's only minimally insured. So let me see. If this tree fell, that tree fell right. That could possibly, I move my truck up a little bit. None of those are gonna do it. None of those are gonna do it. Maybe if I just pull up just a tad bit more, I should be out the way of harm. I hope. All right. I'm gonna go inside and see what's what. I'll be back with y'all. All right, update on Hurricane Milton and myself. I've made it to my dad's, and we just went through a tornado warning. One just went right by here, but so far so good. Looks like my dad's lake is lit. You can see there ain't much distance between the lake and the ground there. It's coming. You can see his yard is saturated. This water's just coming down. We got Big Blue here. The outer bands have reached us. And I'm eating a bowl of chili that my dad made. Here, I'm recording a hurricane video. Say hi to the people. That's my dad. He made a bowl of chili, a big pot of chili, so we had some of that and some crackers. And we're in there watching the Weather Channel. Now here it comes. Here it comes. We got Sasha girl. I'll check back with y'all directly. Here we go, another little update. Rain's getting stronger and stronger. They say it just wobbled south quite a bit. That ain't good news, not for Fort Myers. Now, the south wobble probably spares 1 million homes from storm surge in Tampa Bay. So I'm sure they appreciate it. But if they don't get it, somebody's got to. And that means it's moving south. Tornado went by a while ago. It missed us. I tried to check the cameras at my house. I can't pull them up, so I don't know what's going on there. If it's internet, if it's electricity, or what the deal is, but I can't pull up my house cameras. We'll just have to see. All of a sudden, it just got real calm and real still here, which is a little weird, because it was pouring down. Now, it's kind of dropped off. There's a real fine mist. I'm standing in the middle of it, but it don't look like I'm wet at all. It's just a real fine mist that's falling. But when I got up and picked up the phone and turned the camera on and walked outside, it was coming down and then it just stopped like instantly. This spot right here, that spot right there, that's where me and my wife got married at. It's a special spot. We stood right here. And she said, I do. And I said, I do too. I'll check back with you. So here's another update. It's about 3 o'clock. Maybe a little after 3. I didn't check the time before I started the video. But everything's dry. There's no rain. There's a few little wind gusts blowing. But there ain't really nothing to be alarmed about. I keep checking my home cameras. I still got power. Everything looks fine at the house. But I will tell you this. I live in North Fort Myers, and at one point there was 50 tornado warnings in the state at one time, and 19 of them were in North Fort Myers, and every one of those in North Fort Myers was all around my neighborhood, but none of them touched down in my neighborhood. They did touch down in communities around my neighborhood, and they destroyed some homes. They flipped a couple mobile homes over on their head. They tore up a bunch of roofs and awnings. And in central Fort Myers, They had touched down and did some damage, but the Lord kept a hedge of protection around my house and my neighbors and my community. Before my wife and I left, we held hands and we said a word of prayer, and we asked the Lord for protection. And so far, we ain't lost power. We ain't had no damage. We ain't had nothing. I'm here at my dad's, and we're just visiting. His wife cooked some good food, and we just been eating and watching the weather. And now the storm ain't gonna roll in till about midnight. That's the truth. But as of right now, I mean, it seems okay. And they said on the news it was weakening. They expect it to hit as a Cat 3. Now understand, a Category 3 ain't no joke, but it ain't nothing like a Category 5. If things continue on with this trend, then I think probably the worst is behind us. But again, you can't make that determination. The hurricane's still offshore, hasn't made landfall yet, and anything could change. But just to give you a little idea what it looks like right now, I'll flip the camera. Got a few cows out here just laying down, enjoying themselves. Off in the distance you might hear the occasional that's them cows. But so far so good. Thank the good Lord. Y'all stay tuned and I'll be back with you. And perhaps I spoke too soon, because just as soon as I clicked off the video, it started raining on my head. So I don't know if you can see, but it has started raining again, and that is just since I clicked off the video and said we're good. Now look at it, it's getting harder and harder and harder. You just never know what the weather's gonna do. Here's you another hurricane update. It's about 6:30 p.m. here, and things are blowing. It's I got this limb over here in my head. I'm in this little hammock swinging around, but so far, I mean, everything seems a lot better than expected, thank the good Lord. We're starting to get some real wind action, but I'm hoping and praying maybe the worst is behind us. I know it's still going to make landfall about midnight, and we got more coming, but most of that is north of us. I think most of the rain has happened, and the coastal communities are getting a big storm surge. There'll be a lot of flood and a lot of water damage there. And of course the wind can still do a lot of damage too, but we're not getting hurricane force winds. gusts 40-50 miles an hour, but so far so good. I don't have no complaints. I keep going onto my cameras on my phone at my house. My cameras are still on. Winds are blowing the trees around my lake, but a whole lot milder than expected. You know, we really prayed about this situation. I believe this is just the good Lord answering prayers. I appreciate all y'all praying for us. A whole lot of people are not getting near what they thought. They said it weakened just before it hit Florida, or just before. It hasn't hit yet, but on its approach, it went from a 5, and they're expecting it to hit as a 3. But so far so good. I'm just checking in. What happened? Now I'm out here just swinging. The wind gusts have picked up a little bit. What? Come here. Hey, what are you saying? Listen, we don't get to sit in the swing in a hurricane very often.
No, it's so, you know, the wind getting stronger. You see that?
I see it.
So the trees like swinging.
But that makes it nice.
Yeah, but
to swing.
Are you what if the trail we're gonna lay down on like this?
Well, I would move. Hey, tell all the people why you love me.
Because I love you. That's simple answer. You need to keep things complicated.
She's waiting to go in.
There's a Bella cookie there.
There's Bella.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Approaching, looks like landfall is imminent south of St. Petersburg, but north of Venice, and that's where we'll kind of zoom in or kind of hone in for the next few hours to see how this is going to approach, but the heaviest rain just off to the north there. Looks like our camera at Fort Myers Beach is having kind of a hard time kind of holding steady with those gusty winds. I'm keeping my eye on downtown Fort Myers. It's going to be hard to see. We can't really adjust the camera at this point, but watching some of the water was here's just behind, there's a luminary right there, and here's just behind the luminary, the water was starting to come up a little bit from the marina here. This is an area that we know the water increases quickly. Right at the bottom of the bridge there on 1st Street, when the water just continues to rise, I'm sure that water within the next few hours, now that the sun has set, that water will continue to rise in downtown Fort Myers easily. So I'm going to go ahead to the Fort Myers graph. So this is a little bit of a map, but it's not so important to look at all the...
Okay, so they just had the 7 p.m. advisory. And the 7 p.m. advisory has said it's going to make landfall where I'm at here in Southwest Florida by 9 p.m. Now, up north, Sarasota, Bradenton, Tampa, all that area, I think it's still projected at midnight. But here, we're coming into the worst of it right here. It's 7 p.m. We got a couple more hours to go, then it's going to be here. And I'll say hello.
Hey, how's it going? We got the hatches battened down and we're hanging in there like a hare in a biscuit.
Okay, okay, there we go, hanging in there. So, I don't know if y'all can see, I got this little dragonfly here. I just caught him. See right there, I just caught him. When here, I'm gonna put him back, I ain't gonna hurt him. Okay, he flew off. But when I was younger, I used to catch the dragonflies and I would tie a dental floss to their tail and I'd fly them around like a kite. But that's just a little fun fact about me that you probably didn't know. So check this out. It's coming in gusts. Let me see if I can get out here. I took me a little nap earlier today. Now I'm out here in it for you fine folks. Yeah, I'm out here in it. The rain's starting to come back a little bit. I feel it beating on my head. And I'm scientifically documenting a lot of what?
Trees.
Yeah, I want the people to see. I'm coming in, baby. I won't be too aggravated. It's nice to have a wife who's concerned about me. I love her. All right, I'm being called in. They don't want me outside. So now I'm back. Turns out she does want me to go outside and get something for her. She wants me to go out. Now, if I'm going to the truck to get something for her, then it's all right to be in harm's way. But if I'm out here recording for the people, creating my art, my content, well, that's not acceptable. But to get in harm's way to get something for her, oh yeah, that's perfectly fine. Oh, the wind's blowing. The wind's blowing. Oh. Look at here. All right, let me get back in here. She wanted me to go get the cooler. I'm signing off. I'll be back. Well, here we are at Darkfall, and I doubt there's much you can really see though. But maybe you can hear it. It's blowing. It's a pretty good strong breeze. But I think the worst is past. I ain't gonna take anything for granted. I appreciate the Lord looking out for us. But a whole lot of the worst is over. I'll check back in with a few thoughts later. It's just about 8:30, maybe a little after 8:30. So it's coming across land now. It wobbled north, and that spared us. It's also hitting Sarasota right now and Tampa. Keep them folks in your prayers. They may not be doing quite as well as we are, but here in Southwest Florida inland, we're all right. Now I seen some news footage where Fort Myers Beach is getting storm surge. The water's coming up pretty good, but even there, the hurricane, it didn't slow down like they thought it would. So it kept moving fast, about 17 miles an hour, and that brought it inland during low tide. So at least they caught the storm surge on low tide instead of the storm surge on high tide. So just wherever you look, there's the Lord's mercy, Lord's protection. Wherever you look, I'm thankful. I'll check back in with you after a while. Woo, it has picked up. Now the wind's blowing like crazy. You can't see it, but maybe you can hear it. Oh, there we go. Now we got some light going. It's really strange though, cause woo, it is blowing, but there ain't no rain. It's just dry wind. As I stand here, man, some of the wind about blow me over. I'm gonna go on back inside before I get hit in the head with a branch. Here we are one more time with it blowing real good and hard. It has made landfall, Hurricane Milton. It's dark, I can't really show you a lot, but you should be able to hear the wind. Open the door. See if we can catch a little bit here. That's the update, live and in person. Okay, we just lost power. Okay. So, I know it might be hard to see me. I'll get into candlelight. We just lost power. So, we'll have to see how this goes. I'll keep you updated. No need to video in the dark. All right, so I'm coming to you now by camp light. We have lost power. What time is it?
9:12.
It is 9:12. Hurricane made landfall sometime about 9 o'clock-ish. Shortly after that, we've lost power. Probably won't be doing too much more recording at this point. Probably just open up some windows to catch a breeze and lay down and go to sleep. Deal with all this in the morning. It's unfortunate because it seems like the majority of this has passed us, but probably what happened, that strong wind was blowing. It probably hit one of them pine trees down there that I showed you on the way in, and that fell over into a power line, more than likely. Let me let the dog out. Here, you gotta go out. Come here. Sasha, you gotta go out. Come on. Here, hold the door. It's blowing pretty good. All right. Shut that. Now we're cranking the generator. And it is blowing.
Hold that right there for me.
Do what?
See where it says start?
Hold it.
Hold that down. Okay. I think it's the other day.
See if you can keep that shut. There we go, the generator's crunk up. We got wind blowing things over. No power, starting to feel like a hurricane. Oh, I'm gonna check on my truck. Oh, something just flew and hit me in the head. wind is blowing. We're getting extension cords run out. Trying to make do the best we can.
Do you need the light?
We got these cool lights. Look here. They oh, that ain't the one. Never mind. The one that's real cool he got. But either way. Sasha.
Hey.
Sasha.
We have one.
All right. I'll update y'all after a bit. All right, we got the generator all hooked up. We got lights and fans going. We got a big 55-gallon drum full of rainwater to flush toilets and wash your hands and that kind of thing. And the wind's blowing. It's a lot more like a hurricane now, and it's in the middle of the night, so you can't really see anything. That kind of sucks. But I checked the cameras at my house. I still have power. I am reading on Facebook though where transformers have blew all over town. Lots of people are out of power, so we're certainly not isolated in this. Nothing we can really do now except lay down in front of the fan, go to sleep, deal with all this in the morning. It's been an eventful day, but we're alive and well, and we're good. I'm gonna do one more update before I lay down. Hurricane mostly is blew over. There might still be a few gusts out there, I don't know. We're still without power, but we got a light running with the generator and a fan. And my fat girl right here. Can't really ask for a whole lot more. My wife's in there on the couch with her light as well. I'm fixing to go get her and lay it down. We'll look at the aftermath in the morning. I just checked the cameras at my house though. I still got power. So far so good. I'll see you later. Good morning. We have come through the other side alive and well. Big Blue's good. Let me turn off. Big Blue's good. Nothing fell on her. We got a few limbs falling. There's Sasha. Sasha made it through. She's okay. Yeah, we got limbs all over the ground, but no real damage to speak of. Got a few limbs here, limbs there, but we seem to be good so far. I did check my cameras at my house in the middle of the night, and they went offline, so I imagine I lost power at my house. But I didn't lose power till late. I'm gonna come out here and see if the road's clear, if we're able to get to our house or not. Looks like a bunch of wind, leaves, stuff like branches, stuff like that, but we're just waking up here. Scattered debris, but everything seems all right. Oh shoot, my dad has an electric gate opener. I don't know how we open it when there ain't no power. I don't think nobody's thought of that. Ground saturated. I'm trying to see how I can get out of here, because the gate's electric. I just now thought about that. Ground's real wet. We got some branches down. There's another gate over here that's manual. You know, them old timers who lived life without electricity, they had things figured out. We're so dependent on electricity these days. My dad's got a secondary barn cottage. It looks like he clamped all of his roof panels down. Looks like he spared it. I don't see any on the ground. They're all there. See, if you look there, you got C-clamps. All along, got C-clamps, straps. Man, my dad's pretty smart. I asked him one time, we was working on something. He seems to know something about everything. And I asked him one time, I said, man, how you get to be so smart? He kind of looked at me. He said, son, I've been alive a long time. I guess it just comes with experience, I suppose. But, oh, there's a snake. Snake slithering off in the water there. Y'all don't see. Let's see here what we can do. How in the world? All right, I got out this manual gate instead of that electric gate. All right, let's. Down the road seems clear. I'm gonna come up here to my uncle's place. Make sure everybody's okay over there. I see one of our gates swung closed. That's all. Checking on the neighbors over here. Neighbors look like they got power. Yeah, the neighbors got power. Well, ain't that something? I wonder why that is. Yeah, they got a house full of power. Huh. Strange things. So, always waking up the morning after a hurricane hit. It's always something. So much devastation and destruction the night before. Next morning it'd be eerie. Nothing's been cleaned up. Hurricanes went through. We're all waking up to see the destruction. Surprise, surprise. But I'm thankful. I'm thankful. God is good. I'm alive, I'm well, I'm fine, I'm healthy. I'm sure my house is there. I've probably just lost some power. I don't think my house is damaged too much. Long after the storm hit, I could check with my cameras. It was fine. It wasn't until I woke up somewhere about 4 o'clock in the morning. I picked up my phone and went to check my cameras. And that's when I seen my cameras were off, so I've lost power there. Looks like some people are talking over here, but they got a big mean dog over here. I got to see. It looks like everybody's okay. Let me see. Hey, hey, everybody survive? We lost it. Yeah, they got power right there. Yeah, it was. I got my video going. Hey there. Hey there, you got a bunch of them.
We had 5 dogs here.
Well, how?
Got Rufus, and then got a little teeny one. And
Yeah, he was all right with all of them?
yeah.
I see you over there barking, carrying on. I see you. Here, I'll make you famous. Yeah, it's all right. Don't be ugly. Don't be ugly. Boy, you sure did nice with this place, Uncle Lou.
Yeah, turned out pretty good, didn't it?
You sure did. Real nice. And he got power over there, huh?
Yep.
It just...
Yeah, we had one limb hit that transformer over there.
I had power at my house. I had cameras. I had power at my house all the way up till, I don't know what time, but I woke up sometime about 3 or 4 in the morning. I checked my camera and it was off. Yeah. But all the way up until then, I had it.
Yeah.
It don't look like no trees are falling in the road.
A couple small ones. With this, yeah, we dodged the bullet.
Yeah.
It's funny, my banana trees, they all shredded. They were solid leaves last night. That's funny. That's what I was worried about, was my pole barn.
It survived.
Yeah.
It did real well.
Yeah, I put those braces on the side, the 45s, to keep the sway out of it.
Okay, you put that up yourself?
Yeah. Well,
A lot of it.
Me and Matt did all the metal on the. I had a company come out and put all the frame up.
Oh, okay. You skinned it.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, I was just glad my RV survived.
It flipped over last time, didn't it?
It did.
And you flipped it back over and it was okay?
Yeah, I took it to Montana last summer.
Good for you.
Yeah, I spent the whole summer out in Montana.
Good for you. I got an RV myself at the house. I believe it's all right, but I don't know for sure.
Yeah. We can stick a post or something there, keep them in there.
Oh, that one's too big. I'm gonna walk around. Hey, what's it? Well, the family's okay. So, a tree fell on a transformer. And, I guess that put the transformer out. So, here, all that seems to be fine. Now, normally right down the street here is where we get all these trees falling over. But it don't look like that's occurred this time. Everything looks fine. I'm gonna head on back, see if I could be of any assistance. Here pretty soon I'm gonna get in the truck and I'm gonna go check out my house. You know, I'm just thankful. There's a whole lot of people who didn't fare so well. That thing was out there and they were saying that Milton was nearing the limits of how bad a hurricane could be. It had dropped below 900 millibars in pressure. It was a Cat 5 and gaining strength. It was up, at one point there was gusts of 200 miles an hour. The eye wall was really small. They were saying it was the second largest storm to ever form in the Atlantic basin. At one point, the satellite imagery had the hurricane looking like the shape of a skull. It was really crazy. And man, we was just bracing for absolute catastrophic devastation. Then it started breaking up. And it wobbled south and it worried us. It wobbled back north, and I think it hit right in between. Now, my prayers and condolences for the people in Sarasota, but I think that wobble south pulled it out of that Tampa Bay, and then that wobble north took it away from us, and it hit right in between. Probably saved millions of lives in Tampa. I mean, it probably did. And when it hit, it was a 3 and not a 5. And I want you to know, us Floridians, we don't even really care that much about a 3 unless it's a direct hit. We get storms all the time. 1s and 2s, we don't even call off work. 3, we'll pay attention. 4, we start getting a little concerned. And I mean, it really just probably did the best it could do for all of us, and that was not what was projected. So I'm just thankful. I'm going to turn the camera around and walk around a little bit more here. Check out the rest of the property. The lake's full, but it ain't overflowing. Now, ain't that just like the Lord? He'll fill up your cup. We got the little cow walking across this morning. Hey, Mr. Cow. Hey, Mr. Cow. How you doing there? Don't charge me now. Don't be crazy. Oh, there's the mama cow too. Good morning to you. Good morning to you, Mr. Cow. Good morning. You want to come here? Can I pet you? Will you let me? You won't let me pet you? You want to be off by your mama? I don't blame you. I don't blame you. Cow's over there getting her some. Okay, we got a blowed over tree. Right there, a blowed over tree. Other than that, I don't see a whole lot. I'm gonna walk out here and see. We got our little post over here, blowed over. Let me see if I can put it back up. There you go. I straightened it up. Whole lot of reasons to be thankful this morning. That's just our lake. Don't think that's devastation. It's not. My dad has a smokehouse down here. He smokes chicken and smokes mullet, things of that nature. We're going to check it out, make sure everything's okay. So it's looking like we got debris. Wind blew a lot of things around. Got some debris fill, but everything looks all right. No real damage. Lord kept his hand upon us. Yeah. Well, I guess I could say, wonderful, wonderful Jesus is to me. Counselor, Prince of Peace, mighty God is He. Saving me, keeping me from all sin and shame. Wonderful is my Redeemer, praise His name. Lift Jesus higher, lift Jesus higher. Lift Him up so the world can see. He said, if I be lifted up from the earth, I will draw all men unto me. I like to sing a little praise song every now and then. I don't think it's chance that we came through unscathed. Now we start living without electricity. I don't imagine we'll be without power very long though. Of course, I'm just here. I'm not in town. I don't know what the devastation's like in town. But either way, we dodged it. I mean, we caught a little glimpse of it, but we dodged it. So I don't imagine there's a whole lot of catastrophe in town. Like I say, my house had power up until the wee hours of the morning. So it can't be that bad. Now, my dad has this dock that goes across this lake. The dock's in disrepair. I probably shouldn't try to walk across it, but it will save me a few steps. Let me see what I can do. Let's see. Oh. Seems like it might be all right. I'm gonna walk over here where the braces are. Try and make sure I don't fall through this thing. Now that'd be something. Survive the hurricane and then get up in the morning and the dock fall through on me. Wouldn't that be some mess? There I go. Now this here is not hurricane damage. It was already like this. Alright, so let me see how I can do this. You know what? I'm going to turn around and go back. I would hate to fall through that and drop my phone in the water and all that. There's the cows. They're getting them some breakfast. That's a mama cow and her calf. Yeah, they're trying to eat the leaves off that tree that they normally wouldn't have access to. I am gonna leave here after a while. I'll probably make another video showing the drive back to the house. And look at right here. Look at right here. Look right there. Now I want to show you something. These two staghorns right here. The cows have ate most of them. But that staghorn right there, my grandma planted that. And it got really, really, really big. Now the cows eat it. But it used to be humongous. Sasha. Sasha's out looking around. She's probably looking for me. Hey, hey. Everything looks fine. You had a tree blow over right over there, but your little guidepost sign, Pops, Cracker Barrel, all that fell over. I put it back up. Oh, I went over to Luke's. He's out of power, but Patty's got power. And your neighbor's got power. Yeah, it's you and Luke. He said a tree fell on the transformer. That's what he said. So I'm gonna sign off for now. I'll catch y'all later. So another little quick update. Morning after. I'm having chicken and yellow rice for breakfast. Got a cup of coffee. My dad has this little camp stove that he uses for hurricanes. You're able to cook on it just like a regular stove. It uses camp fuel, and he heats it up. You can put a pot on there, warm stuff up, boil water, heat up the coffee, whatever it is you need to do. So I'm sitting here in my truck. He's got his generator running. He's watching the news. I'm eating chicken and yellow rice that his wife cooked. She's a great cook. And my wife is in there sleeping. I sleep with the AC on, and I keep the room real cold. And she don't like the AC on. She likes the room warm. So every night we go to bed, it's a little issue. Is the AC gonna be on? Is the AC gonna be off? So now that the AC's off and the house is warm, man, it's just like she likes it to be. So she's in there sleeping. I ain't gonna bother her. I'm gonna get me some food in me and see if I can help out my dad any other kind of way, and then I'm gonna be on my way in my truck. A buddy of mine has power, so shout out to him. He said we could come over later and shower and get our bearings and things. So folks, I think we're okay. Lord has been merciful. He's kept his hand upon us. So I'm gonna eat this breakfast because I don't know where another hot meal's coming from, but I imagine it won't be too far down the road. So here we start the trek down Cass Drive. I see some of my family up the way. We're gonna see what's going on and the status with everybody. We got a few branches in the road, but nothing to be too concerned about, it appears. Everything good?
Yeah. Gate open for you?
Yeah, it opened right up.
Okay, good.
The road's clear?
Yeah, I think.
Hey, Uncle Jay, how you doing?
Hey,
Good morning.
Recording for my YouTube. All right, say hi to the people.
hello, YouTube.
I love you.
Hi, Aunt Barb. How are
I'm
you?
recording for YouTube. Say hi to the people.
Hi. Bye.
I love you.
Love you too.
Ain't nothing like family.
Where they came from?
They all stayed down at Tori's house last night. Down here. Same road, just down here. Babe, you got anything to say to the people this morning?
Oh, I fell asleep.
You fell asleep.
And although the wind outside is kind of like crazy, but inside I feel peace. Thanks God. Thank you for Mama Beth and Dad. I love you both.
I told the people this morning that I like to sleep with the AC on and keep the room cold. And you like to sleep with the AC off and keep the room warm. So with the power off and the fan not working and the AC not working, you were just as comfortable as you could be. So I let you sleep in.
Yeah, I don't like it.
All right, so I got a choice up here to make. I could take the long way, which is probably the best way. There's probably less damage if I take the long way. But if there's a much shorter way I could take back to my house, but it's a path through the woods. Now my big old truck will do it, but there could be trees in the road and that kind of thing. So I'm not really sure which, whoa, I ain't really sure which route to take. But I did speak with, I spoke with Brenda. I text with Brenda. I text with a neighbor and she said my whole neighborhood's out of power. I don't find that hard to believe, but we're gonna make our way. We're gonna see. So y'all just stay tuned. Let me get up here and look at the roads and see what might be the best way to take, whether I should go left and take the long way, probably the safest way, or if I should go right and take the short way, but it's unpredictable what could happen. The wife said go the right way, to take the right. That could be an adventure. I had to put it in four-wheel drive to do that.
Why, is it the dirt?
Yeah, it's at Williams Road. So
Okay, then go left.
let's
Go left. I don't want to go there in the dirt road. No.
now she changed her mind.
I don't know that.
All right, so here we are back on Cooking Brown. I'm gonna turn it around for y'all people. Everything looks clear ahead. I'm gonna go ahead and turn this off and I'll update you once I get a little bit further down the road.
Good morning.
All right, people, I gotta turn around real quick. I forgot our can of gas. I got a generator at the house I'm gonna try and plug into my RV, and I definitely need that can of gas. So back down Cass Drive I go. From everything I'm seeing so far on the drive back in, looks good. I see a few branches laying down. I see a few palm fronds, stuff like that. But I just drove by one store and it's open, got gas, selling food. Roads look clear to me. I'm sure as I get more into town, there's going to be a lot more people out of power. But I think inland, loss of power is the biggest deal, and on the coast is probably storm surge. Fort Myers Beach, Pine Island, they probably didn't do as well. It's just an assumption at this point. I haven't received the news update or nothing, but watching the news last night and just figuring. I know there was some tornadoes that touched down yesterday. I think some of those people got some bigger problems, but by and large everything looks clear. Let me show you. All right, I'm almost to the house. I'll update you when I get there. All right, status update. I made it home. My house is good. Everything's good. Had a little lattice blow off of my little outdoor patio structure, but that's about the extent of it. Currently, I am working on getting my generator up and going. It's a brand new generator I've had for a while, but it's never been used. And I got fuel. I got the power turned on. Got the choke on. It's got oil in it. It's got compression, but it won't start. So now I'm going through to check spark plugs and all that kind of thing. I'll catch up with you, but I'm good. Well, I can't get the generator running. It's giving me problems. So now I'm sitting in the shade, drinking some ice water. And I'm gonna go ahead. I got my inverter hooked up to my truck. And I'm running extension cord to my refrigerator out to it, trying to save my food. I don't imagine it'll be but a couple days and we'll have the electric back on. So I'm gonna go ahead and close this video out. Everything's okay. Just instead of major devastation, we ended up with minor inconvenience. So I'm gonna sign off. All right, she don't have nothing to say. All right, I'm dealing with all the struggles here. I'll be back sometime later.